Welcome to Dhaka, Bangladesh. This heaving mass of humanity, 15 million people and counting, all trying to get around.
Dhaka's transport story is one of congestion, chaos and calamity. The city here is choked with people, pollution and traffic. And at the center of it all is what's described as the traffic clot, the Janjot.
Janjot means traffic congestions. It is a part of our life since morning till midnight.
Dr. Saleh has spent years trying to get to grips with the complexities of Dhaka's transport system.
Today we are in a real crisis point. I drive my car myself, and the reality is it's very difficult because you have a lot of different modes of transport, and the average speed you can hardly reach to 7 to 10 kilometers per hour.
Cars are not king on Dhaka's roads. Buses, bicycles, tuk-tuks and pedestrians all compete for road space in a city which at last count has only 67 traffic signals.
See, Dhaka was actually developed a very unplanned way. We have only 7 to 8% road space in comparison to any developed city which have 25 to 30% of the total area.
The flow of traffic is painfully slow, dictated by the pace of pedal power and Dhaka's many human taxis.
One of the main modes of transport in this megacity is the rickshaw. There are an estimated 400,000 of them on Dhaka's roads, and this is where Dhaka police lay them to rest, here at the rickshaw cemetery.
For urban planner Salma Shafi, rickshaws are a major part of the problem.
How many rickshaws are there in Dhaka? It's hard to estimate.
400, 500,000.
It's hard to, rickshaws are not the answer then necessarily.
No, rickshaws should be allowed only within areas for interior movement because it's a very slow moving vehicle compared to the other fast vehicles and cause a lot of accident.
With the dubious accolade of being the rickshaw capital of the world, it's hard to see how these busy roads will ever give way to a calmer reality. Salma Shafi estimates that 60% of journeys in Dhaka are made by the urban poor on foot. Bangladesh is one of the world's poorest countries.
We need public transport very badly. We need commuter service, so trains, rapid bus, and a lot of pedestrian walkways along the roads because, the poor people, the big number, moves by foot.
Like any city, Dhaka has its dreams and its vision for the future. There are many plans on paper, including a new metro that would dramatically change the way people move around the city.
The Strategic Transport Plan, announced in 2004, is a mammoth document which promises a lot. Billions of dollars worth of projects which could alter the city completely. An efficient bus rapid transit system to whisk people to work. Flyovers, a bypass to congestion down below. A new metro almost approved. Large infrastructure projects paid for by public-private partnerships.
Trying to make a metro or mass transit rail is expensive, and then how many people can afford it? So you have to think about the common people and cheap mass transport system.
One 20-kilometer metro line alone costs $2.7 billion and Dhaka has plans for 3. These flyovers, scheduled to be finished by the end of 2013, are the most convincing visual evidence that overhauling Dhaka's chronic traffic congestion is possible.
For somebody like me who loves Dhaka, we have to make Dhaka livable. I mean, there are people, we will all fight and work for Dhaka till we have the strength, as long as we have the strength.
The question is whether every dream will be realized, whether Dhaka can ever catch up with the demands of an exploding population. It's back-breaking work, shaping this developing metropolis into a city fit for the future. In a bustling megacity like Dhaka, there are many markets like this.
Every day in that market, 60 to 70 tons of waste are generated every day. And what was happening there, it was a burden for the market. Because of high density of population in the cities, they are creating huge amount of waste in a small area. And the cities are not, they don't have enough resources to cope with the situation.
Dhaka's 15 million residents produce up to 5,000 tons of waste every day. And if that goes uncollected, the waste could clog up the drains, the streets, the rivers.
Solid waste in Dhaka is a problem. First of all, it is a problem for Dhaka city because of our poor management system. It is a duty and responsibility of Dhaka City Corporation to take the waste every day in the night. But because of some limitations, they cannot do it. Sometimes they leave it for days, and after that it is taken away.
Around 70% of waste in Dhaka city is organic. Here at Karan Bazaar Market, it's almost 90%. For Maqsood Sinha and Iftikhar Inayatullah, that presents a business opportunity.
We have founded Waste Concern with the motto, with a slogan that waste is resource. In this plant, we collect waste free of cost for the city.
Waste Concern is Bangladesh's first organic waste recycling company. It's been up and running since 1995, gradually growing. It collects organic waste from markets and homes and turns it into compost, fertilizers for farming.
Space is at a premium in densely populated Bangladesh, and landfills like this one are packed full. Now, Dhaka City Master Plan doesn't have provisions for more, even though the United Nations says Dhaka will be the second largest city in the world by 2030.
Bangladesh is a poor country. Right now, our per capita income is $800 US. We don't have too much resources. So we need to look whatever resource is available and use it in a positive way.
The waste is collected across the city and brought to this processing plant on the outskirts of Dhaka.
Right now you are in the middle of around 25,000 tons plus waste in this plant. We collect the waste from the market, bring it to this plant where we process it through a technology called aerobic composting.
The rubbish is sorted and then laid out to dry and decompose for weeks at a time before being sifted and broken down into the final product.
Waste concerns say their project stops more than 100 tons of rubbish a day from being dumped into a landfill.
They say their business model has been very successful. Now there are 56 sites like this operational across Bangladesh.
Beyond Bangladesh, we are building plants in Cambodia, in Sri Lanka and Vietnam, similar to this kind of projects, and we are expecting that all these plants would be operational by early next year.
As Dhaka grows and changes, so does the waste that needs to be processed.
Recently, we are finding that because of consumers, they're using different kind of waste like electronic waste, computers, cell phone, and also they're using packaging materials, plastics, and different things are coming up in the waste.
Waste Concern are in talks with the government to expand their services to cope with the different types of waste. They believe the best tool is education.
We want to show the people, teach them how they can make their waste into resource. This is our ultimate goal.
When big cities build their future, they count on people like Maqsood and Iftikhar, people who can see the light in the gloom and find opportunity where you least expect it.
Hello and welcome to Future Cities, coming to you from Dhaka, Bangladesh, on top of this rooftop of a train. I'm Leonie Lakhani. Now Dhaka is the fastest growing megacity in the world, 15 million residents and counting. The housing, water, transport are all major challenges for this very crowded city.
Dhaka, Bangladesh, a megacity of 15 million people sprawled over one of the world's largest river systems. The pressure for housing is intense.
Historically, Dhaka's development has been unplanned, unregulated, and unprecedented, with 500,000 new migrants arriving in Bangladesh's capital each year. Finding space for them is a problem. This is one of the most crowded cities on the planet.
Dhaka is a beacon for families searching for higher ground, escaping the floods. Many of the slums are like this, informal settlements built by the water.
Every city has a saturation point. Internal migration has to be reduced towards 1 to 2%, not more than that. If we cannot do that, we are heading a destructive situation.
Urbanization is overwhelming this city, with public service providers really struggling to keep up. Water, energy, housing are all in demand, and 1/3 of the people live in slums.
Nasreen pays around $20 a month to rent the space. In rural Bangladesh, architect Mohammad Razwan has an answer.
The scientists are saying that within the next 40 years, it means by 2050, parts of Bangladesh, 17% of Bangladesh will go under seawater. We have introduced 54 boats to provide education to other services, and we are reaching directly and indirectly around 90,000 families.
Floating villages, schools, clinics and farms, keeping communities functioning through the floods that come every year and slowing the flow of displaced people into Dhaka.
The idea can be replicated in Dhaka context because around 4 million people are living in the slums in Dhaka, very close to the riverside areas. Dhaka is a city surrounded by the rivers.
Back in the big city, Iqbal Habib thinks floating communities have a home here at the Hatirjil Lake project.
With this facility, there will be a lot of facilities on the water, like there could be floating libraries, floating school. I believe Venice is our model. This was a natural Venice, and we will just bring it back to its original domain and original beautiful potentialities.
20 kilometers from the center of Dhaka, another plan to deal with population pressure is unfolding. This is Purbachol, one of the government's satellite cities built from scratch to tease people away from Dhaka.
All the people come to Dhaka city for their job opportunity, and those who are women, they are working in the garments factory, and the man is just pulling the rickshaw. So that is the main reason to coming in the Dhaka city and creating day by day all the slums.
There's not much here now, but in 2.5 years' time, it's scheduled to be finished. 62,000 flats, 25,000 residential plots. Moving out of the crowded city center certainly appeals to many. In the last sell-off of land here at Purbachol, 158,000 people applied for 6,000 plots.
Definitely what we have initiated last couple of years, if we make it much more enhanced, much more comprehensive and organized, definitely we are looking towards a livable 15 million people's megacity.
Planning for this city's future is about accepting its geographical limitations, rising to the challenge of finding new solutions to old problems.
The challenge for Dhaka is how to house the millions and improve the slum conditions. The World Bank predicts that this will be the second largest city in the world by 2020, with 25 million people needing a place to lay their head each night.
Join us after the break when we'll be looking at one of the most basic needs, fresh water in the city of Dhaka. Welcome back to Future Cities. I'm Leonie Lakhani in Dhaka, Bangladesh, a city that is full of colorful chaos. By 2030, this will be the second largest city in the world, according to the United Nations. Life in in low-lying Dhaka can be a paradox. Floodwaters rise up to a meter during the monsoon months, and there's an ongoing shortage of clean drinking water.
Cities are about people, and for people you need water. Water is life. It's about the fundamental right of people. You talk about sanitation, it's about dignity.
In fact, Dhaka city with this present population requires or need about 2,400 million liters of water a day. But at this moment, they can supply only 1,924 million liters of water a day.
The need for clean water is most keenly felt by low-income residents and slum dwellers. Now, providing access to safe and legal water supplies is an ongoing battle.
This is the Uttar Kalshi slum, and around 1,700 families live here, and on an average 4 to 5 people in a family. This is a representation of 30% of Dhaka.
We are working along with the NGOs, and the NGOs are now working with us. They are making the infrastructure inside those slum areas, and we are supplying the water.
That is basically a borehole. It's a well dug in the mud. It has a pump inside, which pumps water from underground.
Before the legal water supply, we used to buy our water, and it was really expensive. It would only run for 1 hour a day.
This city gets its water from the underground, but those supplies are fast depleting, up to 3 meters a year. So the plan now is to make more use of the heavily polluted surface water, treat it, and make drinking water.
Unfortunately, in Dhaka city, the rivers surrounding Dhaka cities, these are polluted because of the fact that there are many industries, especially dyeing industries and garments industries, which are by the side of Dhaka city, and those industries are mostly polluting.
Just look at the color of this water. Now there's a garment factory nearby, and they're dumping the dye straight into the river water.
We clean the water and then we give it to the people for drinking. It's a potable water, and according to WHO and also Bangladesh standard, it is absolutely potable and drinkable water.
This plant operates during the dry season, when low water levels mean more concentrated pollution. It uses a biological process to get rid of the impurities, bacteria which eat up the pollutants.
So, at this stage of the treatment, most of the ammonia has been removed from the river water.
One of the treatment plants where we are standing here, and this is giving almost 225 million litres per day, which is approximately 10% of our total supply water.
So, this is the final filtered water.
Within the next 10 years, we are committed that we will complete all those projects, and if we can do so, then the focus will be 70% surface water, that is treated water from the river, and only 30% will be the underground extraction.
Dhaka is a city of many people with many needs, and water is the most basic. Protecting and safeguarding this resource for all of society must be a priority.
Dhaka, Bangladesh. Join us next time when we'll be in another of the world's future cities.